We don't know exactly what it looks like. They'll realize getting more control is the best way to do that. And once they realize getting more control is good, and once they're smarter than us.
With the way AI has been advancing in the last few years now, it is no surprise that there have been mixed reactions. For starters, you have those that are wowed by its capabilities and how it could help them streamline a ton of processes while taking services to a different level. On the other hand, we have those that are wary of its capabilities, especially as they have assumed their fears of these AI models going rogue at some point in the future. That isn't even as bad as those who are fearing that these AI models are set to render them redundant at some point in the future. Some even believe that this could occur sooner than we think.
We're not special, and we're not safe. We're certainly not safe because we have subjective experience and they don't.
Geoffrey Hinton. One of such people is Geoffrey Hinton, the supposed god of AI, the well-known British-Canadian University professor emeritus at the University of Toronto, has created a reputation for himself thanks to his work as a cognitive psychologist and a computer scientist. In fact, it is his work as a computer scientist that helped him carve this path to becoming the so-called Godfather of AI. This is due to his groundbreaking foundational work on artificial neural networks as well as deep learning, although he was not the first to walk down this path. Together with the likes of David Everett Rumelhart, the American psychologist who made a ton of contributions to the formal analysis of human cognition, and Ronald J. Williams, the professor of computer science at Northwestern University and one of the pioneers of neural networks, Hinton was on hand to popularize the backpropagation algorithm for training multi-layer neural networks back in 1986. Add his work to invent the Boltzmann machines and his work in the development of AlexNet with his students at the time, Alex Krzyzewski and Ilya Sutskever, and you can understand how he is considered to be the godfather of AI. Interestingly enough, despite the fact that he had accomplished such feats such as winning the 2018 Turing Award and the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics, thanks to his work that helped enable machines to learn from data and mimic human intelligence, Hinton seems to have developed certain reservations when it came to AI. Now more than ever, although he sees many advantages in these AI models, he just can shake the feeling that perhaps they should not be trusted, if we are allowed to put it that way. Advantages of AI. As we mentioned a few moments ago, Hinton was on hand to help bring these AI systems to life, and as such, he knows what they can do for humanity as a whole. For example, he cannot ignore the fact that these AI models have the ability to change the world as we know it. Thanks to their almost incalculable capabilities at this point, we can almost be frank about the fact that AI can be life-changing when it comes to the use of AI in the medical field. Simply put, a working AI system could be better than any medical doctor that you can think of. It just has too much access to data. If a doctor has seen 1,000 patients, the data used to build a good medical AI system would have hypothetically seen millions of patients thanks to the data that is used to build it. As such, not only has it seen many diseases many times before, even the rarest of them all, it also has the ability to help the patient with their ailments a lot better. In Hinton's own words, he figured a doctor using AI to carry out his work would be better when it comes to diagnoses than if he or she were working alone. Then there is the fact that the data that is used to build these AI models also potentially helps them to design better drugs than ever before. Surely this is a feather to the cap to the likes of Hinton and what he helped create. Then there is the fact that AI could one day be non-substitutable when it comes to education. Hinton likened it to having a private tutor who can help you learn things faster than ever. Sure, institutions like the university could still survive this wave of AI influx into the system, but they will have to do it with AI working alongside them from now on. With the use of AI to improve pretty much every industry we can think of, how is it that people got to the point where they are wary of them? The many, many fears. Suffice it to say, Hinton may have been blindsided by the advancement of the capabilities of AI that he forgot to ask that very important question when he decided to embark on this road. Just because we can, does it mean that we should? Back then, Hinton must have been running on such a high that he probably never bothered about such a notion. However, as he is alive to witness the developments as they occur following the introduction of AI to the world, his sentiments have been formed, and it doesn't speak too well of these AI models. For starters, he is now of the opinion that many of us should be worried about earning a living. The call center worker, the secretary, the paralegal, any job that is routine in nature is certainly at risk of unemployment. This is a far cry from what was supposed to happen. According to Hinton, AI was just supposed to help improve the productivity of workers. Now they could do better work with less time, and now they can even get paid better for their work. Alas, now it seems as though only the rich can take advantage of these AI models, so much so that it may even serve to broaden the gap between the rich and the poor. As such, you can see how this highlights the risks that come to play when people misuse AI. Hinton considers this to be something of a larger risk. In the very least, he considered it to be the short-term risk as a whole. Because as bad as this may sound, it may not be as bad as the fears of AI becoming even smarter than human beings. Considering what we see from some of us walking the streets these days, this may have already happened already. With that in mind, the existential threat that comes from the risk of AI eventually becoming smarter than the human race is quite scary. Are we at risk of needing John Connor to save us all? Or will we need to take a red or blue pill to wake up from the malaise imposed on the human race by computers? Although we do not know how much of a real risk it is, we are certain that this is a risk that we must take seriously because we have never had to deal with anything that is objectively smarter than the human race ever since we gained our awareness thousands upon thousands of years ago. When we were stalking mammoths down in packs, even back then we were outthinking something that was much more powerful than us. And as such, we could estimate the outcome, no matter how primitive we may have been. Now we are dealing with something even more sophisticated than us. Considering the risk before us, we must state that when minds such as Hinton think about the situation, they estimate that we are at about a 1% risk of AI bring about this future where they replace us because they are smarter than us. As minute as this may seem, isn't that still 1% too much? Many think that we can build them to be obedient, maybe even subservient in a way, but others figure that these AI will figure out a way to wipe us all out. Sure, there are regulations that are being put into place, but how will it limit the capabilities of these AI models? Right now, AI is too good for too many things, and as such individuals, as well as organizations and institutions such as the military, will continue to work to develop them. This is frightening in a way because not only are regulations such as the EU regulations not designed to handle the threats that come from AI, the EU regulations are framed in a way where the military is exempt from these rules. That is even a good position because the rest of the world is even more limited when it comes to AI because they don't seem to have many, if any at all. With such risks in mind, Hinton is of the belief that rather than panicking at this point in time, we must work to make sure that the powers that be do not exploit these AI models. The average person must fight to make sure that this happens because other than that, there is little else that they can do. If any version of our fears occur, it will be in our hands. Hopefully, we will not let our fears for AI come to fruition.